stories aren't meant to be heard at night. But you clicked anyway. Now there's no turning back.
The school that never closed. My name is Elena Voss. I'm 32, a freelance true crime researcher and occasional podcaster. I specialize in cold cases tied to urban legends, stories people tell to feel safe because the truth is usually worse. Last October I received an anonymous email with 3 attachments: a grainy photo of an abandoned high school at dusk, a 1987 newspaper clipping, and coordinates in rural upstate New York. The subject line read simply, "It still has students." The place was called Harrogate Regional High. Officially closed in June 1987 after a carbon monoxide leak during finals week killed 12 seniors in the auditorium. The official report blamed a faulty furnace. The building was condemned, boarded up, and left to rot. No demolition ever happened. Budget cuts, lawsuits, then everyone just forgot. But the email claimed something else. It claimed Harrogate never really closed. I drove up on a Friday night in late fall. The sky was the color of wet concrete. The access road was overgrown, asphalt cracked like old skin. Chain link fence sagged, rusted signs still read "No trespassing, violators prosecuted." I parked half a mile away and walked in with a backpack, flashlight, digital recorder, GoPro, EMF meter, mostly for the thumbnail clicks, and a crowbar I hoped I wouldn't need. The main entrance doors were sealed with plywood, but a side door near the old gym hung open an inch, like someone had forced it recently and didn't bother closing it all the way. Inside smelled of mildew and something sweeter, like overripe fruit left in the sun. My footsteps echoed too loudly. I switched on the GoPro. Day 1, I whispered to the lens. Harrogate Regional. Locals say kids still dare each other to spend the night here. Most come back. Some don't come back the same. I moved through the corridors. Lockers dented, still painted institutional green. Faded posters for Homecoming 1986 to 87 curled at the edges. The bell system was dead, but every so often I swore I heard a distant metallic clang, like a locker door shutting 2 hallways away. I found the auditorium first. The double doors were ajar. Inside, the seats were folded up, stage curtains moth-eaten and hanging in strips. The carbon monoxide poisoning happened here. 12 seniors, all honors track, found slumped in their chairs during the final rehearsal of our town. They never finished the last act. I panned the camera across the stage. Something caught the light. A single chair, wooden. Old-fashioned, the kind they don't make for schools anymore, was centered under a spotlight that shouldn't have been on. No power in the building for decades. Yet the bulb glowed dull orange. I stepped closer. On the seat lay a folded piece of paper. I unfolded it with gloved hands. It was an attendance sheet. Dated today. October 28, 2025. 32 names listed in neat cursive. 31 crossed off in red ink. The last name, not crossed off, Elena Voss, my own name. My stomach dropped. I laughed once, nervous, too loud, then stopped when I heard footsteps behind me, not mine, slow, deliberate. Coming from the wings of the stage, I spun. Nothing. Just shadows. But the chair was now facing me. It had been facing the audience a moment ago. I backed out of the auditorium. The hallways felt narrower now. Lights flickered in rooms that had no electricity, brief strobes of cold fluorescent white, then darkness again. I checked my phone, no signal, battery draining at triple speed. I decided to find the old principal's office. Maybe records, something to debunk this. The office door was unlocked. Inside, dust, overturned filing cabinets, a desk calendar stuck on June 1987, and a black rotary phone. It rang. I stared at it for 5 full rings. Then I picked it up. Static. Then a girl's voice, soft, polite, like a secretary from another era. "Ms. Voss? You're late for homeroom. I slammed the receiver down. The lights in the hallway surged, bright, blinding, then died completely. I fumbled for my flashlight. Beam shaking, footsteps again. Closer. Multiple now. Sneakers squeaking on linoleum, the way only teenagers walk. Careless, impatient, I ran, turned corners I didn't remember. Hallways stretched longer than they should. Lockers repeated in identical rows. Classroom doors numbered 101, 102, 103. Then 101 again. Loop. I burst into what I thought was the cafeteria. Tables overturned. Chairs stacked like bones. In the center, a long table set for lunch, trays. Milk cartons, still full, apples that looked freshly polished. Sitting at the head, 12 teenagers in 1980s clothes. Letterman jackets, acid-washed jeans, feathered hair. Faces pale, eyes glassy, but alive. Breathing, they turned as one girl, blonde, cheerleader ponytail, smiled sweetly. You finally came, she said. We've been waiting since homeroom. I backed away. Another boy, football build, spoke next. Voice cracking like puberty never finished. The bell never rang for us. So we stayed, I whispered. The leak, you died. The blonde tilted her head. Did we? Behind them, more students filed in from the kitchen doors. Dozens. Fresh faces, current clothes, hoodies. AirPods, iPhones with cracked screens. Newer classes. Newer deaths. Or something else. One girl near the back looked exactly like the profile picture of a missing senior from last year. Sophie Kim, vanished after prom. She waved at me. Fingers too long. The blonde stood. Principal says you're the new English teacher. Substitute. Permanent sub. I shook my head. I'm leaving. The boy laughed. Hollow, echoing. No one leaves after the final bell. And the bell never rings. I turned to run. The doors slammed shut. Overhead speakers crackled to life. No electricity, yet. Attention students. Attention students. Elena Voss, report to room 237 for your first period. Repeat. Elena Voss, room 237. Do not be tardy. I sprinted anyway. Hallways twisted. Doors I opened led to other doors. Classrooms full of students writing the same sentence over and over on chalkboards. I will not leave early. I will not leave early. I will not leave early. In one room the blackboard wrote itself while I watched. Letters forming in my own handwriting. Welcome back, Ms. Voss. I reached a stairwell. Basement level. Down, darker, colder. At the bottom, a single classroom door. Plaque. 237, Advanced Placement English. I didn't want to open it, but the footsteps were right behind me now. Breathing on my neck, I pushed the door. Inside, normal-looking classroom. Desks in rows. Windows showing black night, no stars. Chalkboard clean except one line in red. Today's objective. Understand that some lessons last forever. At the teacher's desk sat me, older. Gray streaking my hair. Eyes sunken. Wearing the same jacket I had on now, but faded, torn. She looked up, smiled the way you smile when you've waited 38 years. You're late, my future self said. Sit down. Class is in session. I backed out, but the hallway was gone, just more classroom. Endless rows of desks. Endless students watching me. Some faces I recognized from missing persons posters. Some I didn't, yet, the bell never rang. Because the bell never rings here. I write this on a cracked iPhone screen, battery at 3%, no signal. I've been typing in the dark for what feels like hours. Maybe days. The students are patient. They wait for me to finish roll call. They wait for me to take attendance. They wait for me to realize I already have My name is Elena Voss. I am 32. I am the new permanent substitute at Harrogate Regional High, and school is in session. Forever. If you're reading this, don't come looking for me. The doors only open one way, from the inside.
If you love stories that stay with you after midnight, subscribe. More darkness is coming. Now, there's no turning back.